Ladies and gentlemen, the world as we know it has officially ended today. What is unfolding in the South China Sea is no longer just a military exercise. This is a black hole, a point of no return for global stability. As vital shipping lanes are choked, the silicon shield protecting the economy has shattered. We are witnessing a total collapse beyond repair. Naval fleets are positioned, blockades are enforced, and the lifeblood of global trade is being cut off right now. The escalation has reached its peak. These are not just geopolitical tensions anymore. They are the sparks of a systemic fire that will consume the old world. Simultaneously, the financial markets are screaming. Indices are plummeting in a vertical drop as investors realize the gravity of the maritime blockade and the coming shortages. Behind closed doors, leaders are in shock. The global order they maintained for decades is dissolving in the heat of this conflict. We're leaving no room for negotiation. Panic has become the only currency. From New York to Tokyo, the realization is setting in. The supply chains we took for granted are now completely severed. The South China Sea has become an economic abyss. It is swallowing the trust, the trade, and the very foundation of our modern technological and financial civilization. Without the flow of chips, the heart of the digital age stops beating. The silicon shield, once the guarantor of peace, has now become a heavy shackle. Production lines have frozen. Empty warehouses stand as monuments to a broken system. The 4.0 civilization is rapidly transforming into a massive pile of useless scrap. The machinery of progress has ground to a halt. When the brain of the machine, the semiconductor, is gone, the entire body of global industry simply dies off. The shield is broken. We are seeing the physical manifestation of technological scarcity. Every industry, from automotive to aerospace, it is now facing a total and absolute shutdown. Behold the flow of rare earth metals, the hidden fuel of the West. It has been blocked by a wall of geopolitical fire that no one can bypass. The West's total dependence on these materials has become its greatest vulnerability. The supply lines are snapping, leaving the most advanced nations completely and utterly paralyzed. Without these minerals, there are no magnets, no batteries, and no precision sensors. The modern world is retreating into a dark age of manufacturing and high tech. The blockade is absolute. Every strategic asset needed for the digital economy is now trapped behind a line of fire that the West cannot hope to cross. Consider the devices in your hands. Without these critical components, they are nothing but glass and plastic. The high-tech illusion of abundance is vanishing before us. Even our most advanced defense systems are now hollow. Stealth aircraft and precision missiles cannot fly without the very chips that are now out of reach. The paralysis of Western power is complete. The tools of dominance have been neutralized, not by bullets, but by the simple absence of silicon and rare earth. Look at this screen. As missiles launch in the east, the Nasdaq bleeds in the west. Every explosion on the radar is a killing blow to finance. The connection is direct and lethal. Geopolitics is no longer a distant news story. It is the immediate destruction of your investment portfolio and your savings. The tide of red is overwhelming. The old world of stable returns and safe havens has been washed away by the reality of a global conflict scenario. There is no place to hide in the traditional markets. The risk is being repriced in real time, and the numbers are telling a story of total systemic failure. The bridge of trust that held the global financial system together has collapsed. The assumptions of an interconnected, peaceful world have been proven false and dangerous. Institutional investors are in a state of sheer panic. They are witnessing the death of the old paradigms as they scramble for the exits in total chaos. The screens are screaming, systemic failure. This is not a correction. It is the end of a financial era. The old rules no longer apply to this reality. Every second, billions are being wiped out. The speed of the repricing is faster than the algorithms can handle, leading to a complete breakdown of market logic. The avalanche of selling is unstoppable. When the radar fails in the South China Sea, how the faith in the US dollar and its markets simply evaporates. This is repricing risk. The market is finally factoring in the cost of a world without a superpower's protection and without a stable global supply chain. The mechanism of global wealth is broken. The old security assumptions were the foundation of every investment, and now that foundation has turned into sinking sand. We are looking at an extreme revaluation of everything. What was once considered safe is now toxic. What was once valuable is now being discarded in fear. The seismic financial shock is impossible to prevent. It is a mathematical certainty born from the collapse of geopolitical stability and the end of certain peace. The era of the US dollar is coming to a violent end. The currency that once ruled the world is being consumed by the fires of conflict. As the paper burns, the world is searching for something real. The flight from fiat currency is no longer a trickle. It has become a raging flood. Gold and silver are reclaiming their throne. In a world of digital chaos and broken promises, hard assets are the only language of true value left. Silver, the silent protector, is shining brighter than ever. The migration of capital from paper to metal is the greatest wealth transfer in human history. Central banks are losing control. So the institutions that promised stability are shuttering their doors as the reality of the dollar's death becomes undeniable to everyone. Vaults are empty of faith. The promise to vaults are empty of faith. The promise to pay has been broken, and the masses are realizing that their digital balances are just numbers without meaning. The balance has shifted irrevocably. The power of the petrodollar and the tech dollar has crumbled, leaving only the ancient, eternal value of physical gold and silver. Well, history is repeating its most brutal lesson. Every fiat currency in history has eventually returned to its intrinsic value of zero, and the dollar is no exception. We are witnessing the final stage of a great crisis. The comparison to past collapses is clear, but the scale of this technological failure is much worse. A new era is dawning, but it is one built on the ashes of the old. The great migration from paper trash to eternal value is your only hope. Look at the technical data. The Bollinger Bands are expanding at an unprecedented rate. This is the signal of a massive, explosive move upward for gold. Silver has broken its historical resistance. The chains that held the price down for decades have been snapped by the sheer force of physical demand today. The moving averages have aligned in a perfect storm. This golden cross on the long-term charts confirms that the bull market is just getting started. Well, every indicator we track is screaming the same thing. The upside potential is now limitless as the supply of physical metal completely vanishes from the market. We are seeing a vertical launch. The momentum is being fueled by the total loss of confidence in every other asset class in the global economy. The sellers have officially run out of ammunition. There are no more short sellers left with the courage to stand in front of this freight train of value. The market has reached a tipping point where demand is infinite and supply is zero. The resulting price action is going to be violent and historical. The suppression is over. For years, the prices were manipulated, but the geopolitical reality has blown the lid off the paper manipulation once and for all. Witness the death of the shorts. Those who bet against hard assets are being liquidated in a squeeze that will be studied for the next century. We have entered the blue sky phase. There are no more resistance levels above us. The price discovery process is now entering a realm of pure panic. This is not a projection. It is the simple mathematics of a flight to safety. When everyone wants out of the same door, the price of the door skyrockets. The targets we once thought were impossible are now being hit in a matter of days. The vacuum of the blue sky is pulling prices higher. We are reaching the summit of value. In this environment, gold and silver are not just assets. They are the only survival kits for your financial future. I do not celebrate war or chaos. My heart breaks for the human cost and the innocent lives caught in this geopolitical storm of the century. The tragedy of conflict is real, and its shadows are long. We must acknowledge the pain of those who lose everything when empires clash over resources. But my mission is to ensure you are not among the casualties. Financial survival is the first step in protecting those you love from the coming darkness. In the midst of the storm, you must be the anchor. You cannot help others if you are drowning in the collapse of the paper currency system. True security comes from being prepared. When the system fails, it is those with the foresight to hold real value who will be able to rebuild. I speak to you not as an analyst, but as a witness to history. The window of opportunity to protect yourself is closing faster than you can imagine. The choices you make in the next few hours will determine your family's legacy for generations. This is the moment where theory becomes a harsh reality. If you do not take action to save yourself, no government or institution will do it for you. They are too busy trying to save themselves. The sun is setting on the old world. Do not be caught in the dark without the protection of assets that have survived every war in history. The black hole of the South China Sea is here. The silicon shield has fallen, and the dollar is in its final desperate hours of life. The signals are clear. The evidence is overwhelming. This is the ultimate financial escape, a once-in-a-century transition that is happening right now, before your eyes. The rush has begun. The exit is narrow, and millions are trying to squeeze through at once. You must move faster than the crowd to survive. There is no more time for debate. The geopolitical trigger has been pulled, and the financial bullet is already in the air. You must act now. Protect your assets immediately. This is not a suggestion. It is a final warning before the system locks down and your wealth is trapped forever. Gold, silver, and strategic assets are your only shield. These are the lifeboats in a sea of devaluing paper and collapsing technological dreams of the past. The door is closing. Soon the ability to trade your dollars for real metal will be gone. The market will go bidless and the shops will be empty. Don't wait until the lights go out completely. Act while there is still a market. While there is still a choice and while you still can. The South China Sea has changed everything. The shield is gone. The dollar is dead. Your time to prepare for this new world has officially run out. Take your final step now. Secure your future before the world sinks into the total darkness of the great economic black hole. The end is here.